Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Voices of Empowerment with Dr. B. I'm your girl, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and we are here for our collective reading, another chapter of our collective reading through the amazing book, The Seat of the Soul, written by Gary Zukav. When I tell you this book has been absolutely amazing, every book that we read, I know you all are like, girl, you say every book is amazing because it is. Okay. It is very amazing. It is very necessary. It is perfect for our right now. And it's helpful in navigating us through this thing we call a human experience while also maintaining the connection of our actual nature, which is our soul self, okay, our spirit self. All right, this book has shown us how to do that. It's walking us through the journey, actually, reminding us of who we are through by which we see ourselves and how we feel and how we have forgotten versus what we need to reconnect to and remember, turn to our actual self. We are chapter one was evolution, yes. Chapter two was karma, which was so very good. Talked about how any negative thing, quote unquote negative thing, or whatever, whether it's by way of what we think, feel, words we say, acts that we do, um how we treat others, how we treat ourselves, then any negativity that we put out there is putting out an imbalance into the universe. And so the universe's way of correcting the imbalance that we put out there is by balancing it. And that balance oftentimes comes in the form of what you give is what you receive. Okay. That is the balancing of the universe. The universe in and of itself is brilliant so brilliant and self-remedying that it does that. It cleanses itself, it balances itself, it does that every single time. Now, that may come in the form of a natural disaster, it may come in the form of whatever it comes in the form of, but that is the universe's way of balancing the imbalance. No matter where it came from, where the imbalance came from, who put it out there, whatever the case, but we have to understand that is the importance, to understand that we are all interconnected. So there's nothing that I do, think, say, feel, whatever, that does not affect the whole of us. We are one of one as one. There is no and what I do is just pertaining to me and it don't affect you. And no, trust me, every single thing that each one of us do, or what we choose to do, or whatever the case, what we choose to say, feel, or whatever, it's affecting the whole of us. And if we don't know that, then oftentimes we act haphazardly, okay, with no regard, with no intention, with no deliberation. We act haphazardly, and the whole of us suffer the consequences for it. You know, no matter how subtle or grand it is. That's what we have to be very, very mindful of. We're not just here in this iteration by ourselves. We are here with the other umpteen billion other individuals that are on here on this planet with us. So, and what I do affects the whole of all of us. That's what karma. He spoke about it with the karma chapter, and then the next chapter was um reverence. Ooh, reverence was so good. Welcome, welcome. Reverence was so good. Reverence spoke about why we choose to put out the negative out there, whether it be to ourselves or others. He spoke about how it's because we lost reverence. Reverence for what? Reverence for each other, reverence for ourselves, reverence for the planet. Okay. The planet has rights too. He taught us. The planet, the earth, has rights. And we don't revere the rights of the earth. We pollute it, we violate it, we damage it. You know what I'm saying? We go into realms and areas that we don't belong. Okay. We rob and steal from her and then try to make a profit, which is the way of capitalism. Colonization, which is what we know, it happens all the time. We do that. And it's not just, I don't even want to put that just on a certain race and nationality. We all have done it. Okay. We all have done it. Even smoking a cigarette and putting it in the air. That is not reverencing the rights of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Or not reverencing the lives of the other people that gotta breathe this air that you're polluting. This is not a condemnation talk. This is a real talk. We've lost reverence for each other and for all creation. We've lost reverence, even for dogs. We want to dismiss the dog, or that's just a dog. Every single thing that was created with a purpose attached to it. Just because you don't know the purpose of that thing doesn't mean it doesn't have one, or doesn't give you right to diminish the significance of that items or that things or that creation's purpose. We've lost reverence. And so then chapter 4 was heart. He spoke about heart. He spoke about us plugging back into that element of heart, because there's a lot of reasons why we lose reference, or we put the imbalance out there so that the universe has to balance itself back out because of the detachment of the heart space. You know what I mean? We're supposed to do everything from the heart, from the space of heart center or the love and things like that. Because if we love, then we revere. If we revere, then we don't have to worry about bad karma and things like that. And then when we do that, then we evolve, right? Those are the first 4 chapters. Now, today is chapter 5, which is, and chapter 5 required all of the other chapters to be, learned. Chapter 5 is intuition. Intuition, okay? Discerning. Oh my goodness. And so I'm excited to get into this particular chapter of this book. Again, the book is The Seat of the Soul, written by Gary Zukav. And I invite you to join me, take a listen, things like that. If you want your own free copy of the PDF version of the book, then feel free to stick around. I'll tell you how to receive your own copy at the end of our session. It's a free copy. You don't have to pay for it. Yes, we are a nonprofit 501c3. However, and donations are welcome, but they are not required for you to get this reading material. I want you to have it for you, okay? Because we are one of one as one. If you get it, read it, apply it, then we as a whole are all the better as a result of that. So I want to contribute that part, okay? In helping you help us, all right? Okay, so now without further ado, we are going into the chapter 5. We are airing live on multiple platforms, actually, on Clubhouse, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, all at the same time. Okay, so everyone, I thank you for being here on no matter what platform you're on. I thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence, your essence, your energy, and all of that, because it helps all of us. And whether you're listening in real time or whether you're listening on the replay, I thank you for being here. Okay, you matter just the same. Okay, here we go. Chapter 5, Intuition. The central perception of the multi-sensory human, those are humans that are outside of and transcended the 5-sensory human, is that he or she is not alone. The multisensory human does not need to rely solely upon his or her own perceptions and interpretations of events for guidance, because he or she is in conscious communication with other, more advanced intelligences. This does not mean that the multisensory human is relieved thereby from choosing, in each instant, the course of his or her life. But it does mean that the multisensory human has conscious access to compassionate and impersonal help in the analysis of his or her possible choices, their probable consequences, and in the exploration of the different parts of himself or herself. The 5-sensory human is not alone either, but the 5-sensory human is not aware of the assistance that is continually being given to him or her, and therefore cannot draw upon the assistance consciously. The five sensory human must learn primarily through his or her physical experiences. And this learning takes longer because lessons that are learned in this way must come through the density of physical matter. A person that needs to learn the lesson of trust, for example, will experience a distrust of others. This distrust will create misunderstandings, and these will lead to tensions and unpleasant experiences. A five sensory human will continue to experience the unpleasantness that result from his or her distrust of others until, in this lifetime or another, he or she realizes through interactions with others the source of these unpleasantnesses and takes steps to change it. If a person is not able to trust, for example, he or she will interpret erroneously the words and actions of others. If a wife tells her husband that she must attend a business meeting, although she would like to be with him, and if her husband is unable to trust, he may take her meaning as a rejection or as a signal that her work is more important to her than he is. This misunderstanding results from his inability to accept what his wife has told him, from his inability to trust her. As the wife continually experiences her husband's misunderstandings, they generate within her feelings of surprise, sorrow, frustration, anger, resentment, and eventually the rejection that her husband mistakenly perceived. Exactly. Thus, the husband, through the dynamic of distrust, creates his most significant fear. Yep, that's when the term "my worst fears come upon me," because we willed it to ourselves by our behaviors, our thoughts, our what we emit into the atmosphere. My goodness. The loss of a mate or a friend or a colleague through distrust is not a punishment for distrustfulness. It is the result of confusing the look consciously within oneself at the issue of trust. It is an experience that results from choosing repeatedly to distrust. That's key right there. He says it is an experience that results from choosing repeatedly to distrust instead of trust. It's on us. It's on us. No matter what we've been through in life, no matter what we've been through in life, those feelings were customized to those experiences. But when we take past experiences and project it into every single now or future situation, then we are willing these things. We're choosing repeatedly to distrust instead of trust. That's crazy. A distrustful person will create unpleasant or painful situations until at last they bring him or her to the issue of trust. This may take five painful experiences, or five lifetimes of painful experiences, or 50, but eventually this path will lead to and through the great lesson of trust. My goodness. How many of y'all want to get it right now? Okay. And don't want to have to go through multiple lifetimes of having to have to learn this lesson. Oh, Jesus. The same dynamic applies to every personality characteristic that is not an expression of compassion and harmony. An angry personality, for example, will create unpleasant or even tragic situations until its anger is faced and removed as a block to its compassion and love, to the energy of its soul. The same is true for greedy personalities, selfish personalities, manipulating personalities, and so forth. This is the way that we have evolved until now. A multisensory human can learn more rapidly than a five sensory human with the help that is available to it. The multisensory personality can understand more quickly the meaning of its experiences, how they come into being, what they represent, and its role in creating them. That's it. It does not need to experience 12 or 20 or 200 painful experiences to learn a major lesson of trust. Come on here. Or responsibility or humbleness. That's it. This does not necessarily mean that the multisensory personality do not experience painful situations, but that they have the capacity of learning more quickly from them than five sensory personalities, and therefore are more quickly able to choose more wisely and with more compassion. That's right. It is not necessary to be capable of the voice to voice communication, so to speak, to be able to draw upon the sources of guidance and assistance that surround you. This way is available to the advanced multisensory human, but the road to that ability is a joyful one of developing an awareness that wise and compassionate guidance is always available to you and learning to incorporate it consciously into your life. That's it, learning to incorporate it consciously, so deliberately, intentionally incorporating this into our lives. That's good. How does this happen? The five sensory personality accepts every impulse and insight as his or her own, or originating within his or her psyche. The multisensory personality knows that this is not always the case. Impulses, hunches, sudden insights, and subtle insights have assisted us on our evolutionary path since the origin of our species. That we have not recognized the guidance that has come to us in this way is a consequence of seeing reality through only five senses. That's it. That's it. I just finished a panel literally right before this particular live, and I stated that I learned years ago that life is not happening to me; it's happening for me. It ain't happening to me, it's happening for me. So when we take ourselves out of the subjective view of, oh, it's I'm the victim and it's about me and why did it happen to me, then we can step back and take an unbiased look where it's objective and see what is the purpose of this situation, right? That we can get through it quicker. That's really, really good. That we have not recognized the guidance that has come to us in this way is a consequence of seeing reality through only five senses. From the five sensory point of view, there is no other place from which insights and hunches come from. From the multisensory point of view, insights, intuitions, hunches, and inspirations are messages from the soul or from advanced intelligences that assist the soul on its evolutionary journey. The multisensory personality, therefore, honors intuition in a way that the five sensory personality does not. To the five sensory personality, intuitions are curiosities. Yeah. To the multisensory personality, they are promptings from and links to a perspective of a greater comprehension and compassion than its own. That's it. To the five sensory personality, intuitive insights or hunches occur unpredictably and cannot be counted upon. To the multisensory personality, intuitive insights are registrations within its consciousness of a loving guidance that is continually assisting and supporting its growth. Yes, therefore, the multisensory personality strives to increase its awareness of this guidance. That's right. The first step to this is becoming aware of what you are feeling. Following your feelings will lead you to their source. That's it. I say it all the time. Your feelings are here to inform you. They're not for us to sit in and ruminate in and just swim in and sink in. No, your feelings are here to inform you. Inform you of what? Inform you that there is something wrong. So whatever you're feeling, it's up to you to do the deep dive investigation and get to the source. Like you said, following your feelings will lead you to their source. Only through emotions can you encounter the force field of your own soul. That is a human passage in a word. That's it. The husband who was not able to trust, for example, may have felt anger or shame or resentment or coldness towards his wife when she told him of her business appointment. If he had been able to experience his feelings consciously, to detach from them, that's objectively, to observe them as an energy currents running through his system, he would have been able to ask himself, why does the news of this business meeting affect me in this way? That's it. This would have allowed him to discover that his feelings were reflecting a sense of rejection or of being less important to his wife than her meeting. Okay. If he then had reviewed his wife's message, he would have seen that she had told him that she would have preferred to be with him, but could not. That's it. This would have allowed him to ask, then why do I still feel so disturbed? And this would have led him to the answer, because I do not trust that she actually would prefer to be with me. In this way, becoming aware of his feelings rather than unconsciously acting them out would have led him to his issue of trust. Having unearthed so much, he then would have asked himself, does my experience with my wife support this suspicion that she is not being honest with me? If the answer to this question had been no, my experience is that she is a person of integrity, the husband could have come to see that the dynamic in motion within him did not relate to his wife, although her words triggered it. Because see, the things with the things that the people that we're around and the circumstances that present itself, if they trigger us, they're showing us areas in which we need to heal. Okay. That trust issue probably happened way before they even got married. It's just the wife's words triggered what he probably long forgot that it was in him. Okay. It would have allowed him to see the actual intention of his wife, and his feelings toward her would have softened. Her response to him would have been one of closeness toward a loving husband instead of hurt caused by the rejection of her intimacy by a hostile husband. Had he followed this course, he would have not had to ruin his afternoon or his marriage. He would have been able to learn from his emotions and his questions about them the same lesson that he eventually would learn through the unpleasant experiences that resulted from his lack of trust. He would have been able to see within the framework of one instant the effects of distrust and the effects of trust. Each question that a person asks, such as, why does news of this business meeting affect me this way? Why do I feel so disturbed? Or does my experience support my suspicion? Invokes guidance. Every time you ask for guidance, you receive it. That's it. Every time you ask for guidance, you receive it. Every time you ask yourself, what is my motivation? You ask the universe, help me to see. And help comes. That's it. You may not always be capable of hearing the answers to your questions when you ask them, and the answers may not always come in ways that you expect, but they always come. Sometimes an answer occurs in the form of a feeling, ah, yes, feeling, an ah, yes, feeling, or a no feeling, sometimes in the form of a memory or a thought that at the time seems random, sometimes in a dream, and sometimes in the form of realization that is prompted by an experience that will occur the next day. No question is unheard and no question goes unanswered. Listen here, you all. No question is unheard and no question goes unanswered. Ask and you shall receive is the rule, but you must learn how to ask and how to receive. That's key right there. My goodness. The intellect is meant to expand perceptions, to help you grow in perceptual strength and complexity, and not to do harm. The experiences of the intellect are experiences of knowledge. Knowledge is power, and for each level of knowledge, you are held responsible for how you use it. Come on here. Knowledge that simply comes into your being and does not in some way or form become processed and used to the benefit of others can have a seriously detrimental effect upon your body. Karmic obligations that are created by deliberate misuse of knowledge, by knowingly harming or creating discord in another, are greater than those that are created in ignorance. That's true. If you know better and still decide not to do better, then yeah, that karmic harming that you're doing. Again, we learned in the karma chapter that what you put out, that imbalance that you put out, the universe's way of creating balance is by sending back to you what you just put out there. That's the balancing that it does naturally. In a world that understands power as external, the intellect often functions without the compassionate influence of the heart. This creates situations in which intellectual power is used as a weapon to harm others, to exert willpower without tenderness. When the intellect is used to design or develop or produce weapons, for example, it is not being used as it was intended. When an industry or a plant is designed or built or operated without convivial, it prompts you to pursue that which has no apparent reason in order to survive. Hunches about danger, for example, about what is risky and what is not, about which street is safe to walk and which is not, or about checking the car under the hood, help you to remain in the physical world. That's it. Intuition serves creativity. That's good. Intuition serves creativity. It tells you what book to buy for your project. It tells you where to meet the colleague that you need to meet, or which ideas from one field will complement which ideas from another. It is the hunch that a certain painting should be done in gray and that another should be done in purple. It is the sense that an idea that has never been tried before might work. Intuitions serve inspiration. It is a sudden answer to a question. It is the meaning that takes form in the fog of confusion. It is the light that comes to the darkness. It is the presence of the divine. Intuition can be thought of as a type of wiring that can be used by various sources. One of these resources is the soul. Intuition is a walkie talkie, so to speak, between the personality and the soul. This happens through the higher self. Yes, the higher self is the connecting link when the soul speaks to its personality. It is the dialogue between the personality and its immortal self. The personality and soul connection is the higher self experience, but the personality does not communicate with the fullness of its soul. All of the energy of the soul does not incarnate. Ooh, all of the energy of the soul does not incarnate. So only elements of your soul is operating in your human self. That's true because your body can't hold the full capacity of your soul. It just can't. It cannot, because your our soul is so vast, it's limitless, it's so big. It's and big is not even an operative word for it to be. It's not the right descriptive word, but there is no other. It's so mammoth almost. It's very very huge. So our bodies with its limited abilities, okay, cannot hold it at all. Okay, to incarnate, the soul creates a personality from those parts of itself that it wants to heal in the physical environment, and from those parts of itself that it lends to the process of healing in that lifetime. That it lends to the process of healing in that lifetime. That's good. So powerful is the energy of the soul that it could not advance into a physical form without literally exploding that form. Exactly. Your body can't hold the bigness of you. Your body would not be able to hold it. That's why, even in the scales of consciousness, just a little tangent, even in the scales of consciousness, we in this body can only reach to the level of 1,000, which is the level that Christ, Buddha, Krishna, those beings were able to reach in their time in their physical iteration. They could not go any higher because in this 3D plane is so dense and heavy, and it's and our bodies can only do so much. We're only as powerful as what our bodies allow us to be. That's why it's very important for you to tend to your body, your health, your physical shell, because if you maintain your body and feed it and give it rest and all of that stuff, that allows you in your soul self to be able to do more, be more, evolve more, whatever the case. But you can only get so far. Even if you got perfect health, perfect everything, you would only be able to reach a certain level before you transcend out of that body, and then you can be back to your full vast self. Okay, only in our spiritual realm are we able to be our full higher spiritual being. This body is very limiting. It is. Okay, so I felt I needed to go into that because like he said, if it's our energy, the energy of our soul is so big that our body would literally explode if our full higher being was inside of this body. Okay, in the creation of a personality, the soul calibrates part of itself, reduces parts of itself to take on the human experience. That's it. That's it. Welcome, welcome. Your higher self is that aspect of your soul that is in you, but it is not the fullness of your soul. It is a smaller soul self, a soul that, yeah, smaller soul self that your body can hold. Therefore, higher self is another term for soul, yet the soul is more than the higher self. Okay. Picture a cup, a gallon, and a water tank. The water tank is the soul. As an aspect of the soul becomes a gallon, an aspect of that soul becomes a gallon. The gallon is still soul, but not the fullness of the soul. It is that part of the soul that is on a mission, so to speak. The personality is the cup. The cup contains the gallon, the higher self soul, but not the full bodied water tank. That's good. Uh-huh. Same thing with the analogy of, I use the analogy of the ocean. Okay. So our soul could be our higher soul can be the ocean. And then our personality is the cup. So you dip into the ocean with the cup. Yes, it's still the ocean, but it's just the part that the cup can handle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it's still the ocean nonetheless. The cup contains the gallon, the higher self soul, but not the full bodied water tank. Communication between the personality and its soul is an in-house intuitive process. It is a process that is organic to your own internal system. For example, decision making. which is your process, can be an intuitive process in which you pull data from your mind, your heart, and your intuition, relying upon the guidance of your higher self. Each of these sources is part of your own system of energy. Your personality and your higher self are of your soul. Intuition also can permit the personality through its higher self to receive information from other souls of higher processes, souls that are not its own soul. Sources of guidance other than your own higher self can come across on the same radio station, so to speak. It's so true. So true. I do that when I'm channeling and all mounting and all that stuff too. This is not the same as an intuitive process. This is a process of receiving guidance through intuitive channels. Exactly. Channeling. Receiving information through intuitive channels is significantly different from receiving information from intuitive processes. Receiving information through intuitive processes is cooking at home. Receiving information through intuitive channels is ordering out. Come on here. Oh, I love that so much. Receiving information from intuitive processes is cooking at home. Yeah, that's within you, to you, for you. Okay, receiving information from intuitive channels is ordering out. That's information from outside of you to you, for you. Okay, that's good. Or for others, it could be a message, because I get a lot of messages from channeling to somebody else. Okay, the guidance that the multisensory human receives through intuitive processes and through intuitive channels is as essential for his or her well-being and growth as sunshine and clean air. Yes, it is. Through his or her intuition, the multisensory human comes to understand and to experience truth consciously. Okay. What is truth? Truth is that which does not contaminate you, but empowers you. Yes, it is. Truth is that which does not contaminate you, but empowers you. Therefore, there are degrees of truth, but generically, truth is that which do not harm. It cannot harm. Higher self connecting to non physical teachers produces a level of truth that is true not just for you, but that would be true for anyone who came into contact with it. That's it. But if you subtracted everything that is personal to you from the guidance that you receive through intuitive channels, there would remain a kernel of truth that would apply to others, or at least the presence of unconditional love. Whereas much of the information that you receive through your own intuitive processes will be effective only for you. That's it. I just said that. That's it. That's true. This is the difference between personal truth and impersonal truth. They are both truth, but personal truth is yours, and the impersonal truth belongs to all that is, to each person. We need truth to grow in the same way that we need vitamins, affection, and love. At times, the truth that comes through intuitive processes or through intuitive channels can be contaminated with your own fear. That's it. Here is a place to apply your intellect. In other words, you might think that you are receiving a clear intuition, but if you examine it rationally, like through your human brain, if you take it apart, if you will be able to see that you are responding to an insecurity. Just as the question, does my experience with my wife support my suspicion? That's it. Would have allowed the husband to see that the origin of his emotional response was an insecurity rather than the energy dynamic with his wife. Answers that come through your intuitive processes or through intuitive channels may challenge what you would prefer to do. Your lower self, your personality, will not challenge but rationalize. That's it. That's it. You're gonna try to filter it through your limited human brain, right? Your brain only holds what you've experienced in this short span of time. Your soul knows all. Okay. So to perceive a spiritual thing through a human iteration is just asinine. It's crazy. Okay. It is natural to ascend to a level where you can learn to distinguish between the sources of guidance that you receive. The idea of being guided by truth that is received intuitively appears unusual to the five sensory personality. That's it. Even a scripture in the Bible that says the things of the spirit are foolish to the people of the world. The reason is because spiritual things, when processed through the worldly brain, is crazy. Conspiracy, myth, all of that. Okay. The psychology that has been constructed upon the experiences of the five sensory personality does not even recognize intuition in the sense that it recognizes and studies and seeks to understand physical perception, affect, and cognition. To the multisensory personality, it is not unusual not to rely, no, it is unusual not to rely upon truths that it receives from its higher self and through its higher self from souls that are more advanced. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's normal for me. It's an everyday interaction for me. It's an everyday interaction. So it from through the worldly societal view, I would be seen as crazy. I would. Probably a little slight schizo. I really would, if seen through that lens. But of course, I know better, right? I know better because I'm a multi-sensory human. I'm not a five. I've long transcended the five sensory human stance at all, completely. And I'm grateful for that. Truly, truly grateful. The personality is never separate from its soul, and the soul and its personalities are continually assisted and guided with impersonal compassion and wisdom. This is so for both the five sensory personality and for the multisensory personality. But the five sensory personality is not aware of its soul or the guidance that it receives from its higher self and from more advanced souls, i.e., angels, deities, ancestors, guides, things like that. The multisensory personality is aware of its soul and it seeks to align itself with its soul to become the physical embodiment of its higher self. Yes, yes, yes. And it consciously invokes and receives the loving assistance of its own soul and of other souls to assist with that. Yes, yes, yes. That was beautiful. That was the end of chapter 5, intuition. I said this to myself. I made a vow to myself. I kid you not. I made a vow to myself that in this iteration, like I will not evolve out of this iteration until I have fully aligned with my higher self in this as much as I can to the higher degree of consciousness in this life and become a human embodiment of my higher being. I said that. I said that. Okay. I will not leave it. So fear of dying early, all that stuff, I don't have those. Okay. Because that you choose. That's the power that you have. You decide. Okay. So through this life, I vow that I will continually evolve in this human iteration until I've reached the full embodiment of the human embodiment of my higher being. Again, Christ did it, Krishna did it, Buddha did it, but they did it on the highest scale of the of consciousness, right? But even at the lower scale of enlightenment, which is the level that they achieve. So in the highest scale, the highest level of enlightenment or the consciousness is enlightenment. And you reach it from 700 to 1,000. So 700, 800, 900, 1,000 is enlightenment. That's the enlightenment area. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Einstein, Nikola Tesla, they reached 700 and above. They reached those up. That's why they were at those levels of healing. That's why they were at those levels of understanding, understanding, mindfulness. That's why they were at the levels of genius and brilliance, because they evolved so high on the levels of on the scales of consciousness to the point of enlightenment. Newton, okay, even George Washington Carver with the peanut. He went into his laboratory with a peanut, a piece of paper, and a pen, a pencil, and asked the universe, what is the purpose of the peanut? And all out of that one peanut came milk, rubber, peanut butter, all kind of stuff is made from the peanut as a result of him reaching a scale of enlightenment. Okay? It can be done. It can be done. But it absolutely takes connecting to your higher being and coming out of this five sensory human stance. You're going to have to transcend and become a multi-sensory human so that you can align with your person, your higher personality, your higher soul, and you can become the human embodiment of that. Okay? Seriously, and you can do that in this body. You absolutely can. That is my vow to myself, because this experience that we're in, this is a human experience. Yes, we're here to learn, evolve, learn better, decide better, love ourselves better, love others better. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here to do. We are not here to become a Fortune 500 CEO success story. We are not here. That just so happened to be a part of your experience. Okay, we're not even here to be somebody's husband, wife, mother, father, cousin, and pooking them. We're not here to do all of that. That's part of your experience, but that's not your reason. Hello. All right. You just happen to take on a role of why you were here. But that's not your reason. It's through those avenues, through those roles, through those experiences will you learn to choose better, live better, love better. You know what I mean? But that though all those other things, and have driving the fanciest car, and who got the baddest wife, and who can all of that, that's the human stuff. Okay, that's this 3D human 5th century stuff. That's not who you are. Right? Now, if you believe yourself to only be that, that'll be your experience for sure. However you perceive a thing, whether good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, that is how you will experience it. Okay? I refuse to do that. I'm not a limited being. I'm an unlimited being. And so therefore, I will have unlimited experiences. Okay? Vastness. That's who we are. That's what I will be in this iteration. And I'm so grateful to have even evolved to this point. I have much to do, far more to go. And I'm here to do it. And got all the time in the world. All right. I love you all. This is amazing. I'm thankful for all of the reactions and all the love and things like that on the other platforms. Now, the next chapter, we will meet again on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next chapter is chapter 6, and that chapter is entitled Light. Light. Ooh, this thing is getting gooder and gooder and gooder. Okay. Be sure, if you do not have this book and you want your free copy, inbox me, send me a chat, send me an email, whatever you do. I don't mind, whatever. It'll be sent directly from my hands or my computer to yours. Okay. I will email it to you. No problem. Again, it is free of charge to you. Yes, I am a 501c3 nonprofit organization. However, donations, although welcome, they are not required for you to get this material. I want you to have it. I want you to have it. You need it. Hello. All right. So get your copy. Okay. This is from us at Voices of Empowerment to you as a gift from our heart to yours. And the more you get it, the more you apply it, the better we are as a whole. Because again, we are one of one as one. So I am you, you are me. So when you evolve, I am evolved too. And when I evolve, so are you. You know what I mean? So I love you so much that I want you to get it. All right. Now, you can send me an email at info@biancamissblee.com. Again, that is info@biancamissblee.com. Those on Clubhouse, you can tap the link above my head. That'll send you to my website. You can send me a message from there if you so choose. Or you can just send me an inbox or send me a chat or whatever you want to do. It's perfectly fine. It's so many different vast, avenues of communication. Use either one to your discretion. For those on the other platforms, you all can go to my website. It is on the screen for you to see. Go to the website if you want to see what I do. You want to see the update. I am an astrologer as well. I'm a reader, oracle, astrologer, healer, guide, doctor, all of the things, honey. Whether I get you from the rooter to the tutor, okay? From the rooter to the tutor, I got you. I'm here with you, holding your hand, we're holding each other hand, walking each other back home. Home where? Home to our highest self, right? And so in all forms, again, like I said, everything created was created with a purpose in mind. All right. So in the areas that which I'm gifted in, I'm helping you all as well as I'm helping myself. So I'm learning and pulling from my higher self the information and the answers and stuff like that too. Trust me. I need help in this human form too. This is the first time that we've ever been this iteration. So but now a higher self has been here, done that already. It's everything is happening everywhere at the same time. Okay, past, present, future, everything, everywhere, all at once. It's all happening simultaneously. So your higher self is the culmination of all that you are. So it holds all your answers that you need for this one speck of yourself. Okay, in your iteration. So I can help you in connecting with that higher self so that you can pull answers and guides and guidances through this iteration. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we have someone on Clubhouse that says, please send me the PDF book. No worries, honey. I am trying to see if I can take that. Let me write this down because I have your email address here. I'm gonna write it down and then I'm gonna send it to you. Let's see. I'm writing it down here, all right? Because once I close this space, I believe I will lose it. Okay, gotcha. That's a cage. I was saying that out loud. I had to be mindful because I don't want you to start getting spam from other platforms. Okay, alrighty, I got you. Thank you, honey. Not a problem. You'll have it sent to you immediately upon me closing today's session, which will be in a few minutes. Okay. So go to the website if you want to check out anything that I have going on. You want to check out and you want to get any services and whatnot, I will do that for you. Not a problem. It will be my pleasure. You can also see some of the interviews that I've had, some of the sessions. You can go to the merchandise area, get yourself some merchandise, books, whatever the case, whatever you want to do, it is there for you to do. Okay. Alrighty. And also too, you all find me on social media. Okay. All platforms, everywhere, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere you go, you can find me, Dr. Bianca Misby Lee. Exactly how you see it on this platform or on the screen or wherever the case, it is exactly typed just like that on all other platforms. Okay. Alrighty, you all, without further ado, I want to bid adieu to you all. Okay. I thank you for being here. I really, really do. It's always fun. I love connecting with you all. Again, whether this is real time interaction or it's you're playing and listening to the replay. Either way, I love you. I mean it. There is absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. So don't you even try it. It will not work anyway. Okay. And we will see you back here Tuesday evening, right here at Voices of Empowerment with Dr. B, Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Okay. All righty, you all. I will see you then. Have a great rest of your weekend and a productive week. All wins, all hits, no misses. All right. All right. Peace.